Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first. I have a vowel-heavy rack. I can sort that out by playing Rory, but that wrecks the rack leave. But I can't see any shorter word which leaves a sensible rack leave. So these are bingo-y tiles, but no real alternative to playing them. Rory 14. I draw the Z, which is a good scoring tile. The U's not so good. Azurine would burn both, as would Azure. Can't see a high-scoring spot for the Z yet. If I played Zoa in column 6, then I'm leaving a very heavy, very vowel-heavy rack leave. Now, my opponent's played X. X takes a Z in front, so this looks like the best spot for my Z. I don't think I can play the U off with it. But I could play Azine, keeping OU. Let's see what this looks like. Azine, an alternative to that would be Zoni. I'm not sure whether that would give a better rack leave. I think the O helps the U slightly. So anyway, this is 55 points, which is good. Well, that could have been worse. No scoring tiles, however. But reasonably balanced in terms of vowels and consonants. Through a T, I would have Tautog, which would sort the rack out. I'm looking at the first R of Rory to see if I can reach a double word square, and I can with Ragu. That's pretty good. It leaves AL, which is a nice rack leave. Aguta is also good. A 6-letter play. Can't see anywhere for that immediately. Well, it plays in row G, but that opens up column 1. Now, Ragu, 14 points. My opponent has not taken this H15 triple word square as I was expecting, so I need to consider if I can use that. What do I have which goes under WE? It's just the T. So I could play Tal, 22 points. I can't see a way of playing the U off. And Tal keeping GOU is pretty poor. Now, what about playing in row E? Nothing goes in front of DI, but my G could go here. So I could play Gout. 24 points. That's 10 more points than Ragu. And keeping a duplicate A. I don't have anything which goes after ON. Tricky. I think I will go for the extra points. Just pausing in case goal would be better than gout, but I think I would like to get rid of the U. Well, the duplicate A is not a handicap because I draw only consonants. And I've got a scoring tile in the H, so I should be able to sort the rack out this go. I could play Rav and Oa in row H. That would be quite nice. Over 30 points. Wow, nice play by my opponent. Let's scroll down so that we can see the scores. 68 points. And a blank goes. I'm just looking at the floaters in case they give me a bingo, and I can't see one. Now, I could play Trash in row N for 30 points. Well, that's not better than Rav. I'm just pausing in case I've got a letter which goes after Gone, but I don't. £32 points. Not so good. Fairly balanced, but it looks a long way from a bingo, and I've got the troublesome Q. Through an I would have Kibler. So I could play Kibler in row K for face value. How else could I get rid of the Q? Well, I could play Cat in column 14 or row J. None of these plays scores very much. But I think it is a priority to get rid of the Q. Cat in row J would be safer than column 14, because column 14 would invite a play in column 15 with an I next to the Q. Great, only 22 points for my opponent, and Kibler stays available. The B is not a particularly bingo-y tile, so it's good to get rid of that as well. 16 points. Now I'm 8 points behind, but my opponent's on turn. 3 scoring tiles. No bingo. I could get rid of all of my scoring tiles by playing Pumped somewhere. Or I can play Mapped in column 8, and that's keeping the U, but I think the score's going to be pretty good. Mapped for 48. Can I score better than that? I'm just wondering if Gout takes an E. I don't think it does. If it did, I could play Pumped in column 15. No, I think this is the highest scoring spot. Pretty poor. Lots of vowels, duplicate U's, and no scoring tiles. But I kept EU, so not too surprising that I'm in trouble. So I do need to play off one or both U's. From the A of Rav, I could play Order T, retaining one U. That's just been blocked. U2 is good. But actually, I'm not sure of Fogger. It is good. So I'm now 33 points behind. How can I sort this rack out and get back on track? Still 37 tiles in the bag. I could play Dewey in row K. Or do it. I think I need the T, given that I've otherwise just got vowels. So 20 points, not great, but I'm not really blocking bingo lanes apart from the first P of Mapped. This board is quite blocked. A vowel is good, so row C is available for an A. But the only other bingo lanes are those through the floaters in Mapped, so I need to be careful that this board doesn't become too tight. So is there a better play than this? The rack leave is pretty poor. but my rack is pretty poor. I think I'll go with this. Good, I have got a scoring tile in the Y. I may be able to catch my opponent without a bingo. I'm only 13 points behind. Column 15 is quite hot. Now, Gout, I think, takes a Y, so I could play Nutty at the top of column 15. That would score well. And sort the rack out. Ouch. Good bingo by my opponent. I will challenge it. I think it's good. Yep. Okay, well, now I am in trouble. I'm 100 points behind with a ropey rack. And Nutty's going to burn 5 tiles and not really open the board up. And the only bingo lane begins with the D, or goes through the D. But I think I am going to play Nutty because the score is good. And since I'm 100 points behind, I need to keep scoring. 36 points, that's good. Right, I have the J, which is a good scoring tile. I don't have an A for going in front of Vower. Playing in column row C would be a good way of opening the board and scoring well. Okay, 22 points for my opponent. That's good for him. How can I open this board up? Cottier's is really blocky because I can't play in columns 4 or 6 because, well, the C only takes an H, but I've got an H, so maybe I can play in column 6. Difficult to see how. And I can't see anything in row G. Play through the C. I could play Jet in row I, but that's not opening the board up. I could play Jet A in the same spot, which is also not opening the board up, but scores slightly better and leaves a better rack leave. I'd like to keep row O open with that D. So, let me put this down and have a look. The rack leave's okay here. I'm retaining the H for score. 23 points, not great. A grim rack. I can't see anything through the D. And that's been blocked by my opponent. I don't have an A for going in front of Vower, and only 2 A's remain. Both blanks have gone. I'm looking in column 6 to see if I can open the board up. Can't see a way of doing that. Can't see any way of playing in row G. So, what about playing in row J? Is there anything I can play which means that the board is available, column 1 is available to me and not to my opponent? So if I play HO, for example, I've got an O for going in front of Ho. What else can go in front of it? M, R, and W. Well, desperate times. Can I do better than this? Really tricky. This isn't a great rack leave. It would be nice to play off one more vowel. But I have to open the board. I'm looking in row F to see if I could play a 3-letter play across here on top of AI to open up row E. Well, I think I'd rather play down the bottom of the board to keep the Avower spot available. Well, that's pretty awful. 6 vowels left out of 17 tiles, and I'm 49 points behind. Right, well, only 21 points for my opponent, and he has opened a bingo lane in column 2, and I am within a bingo's reach of him, so that is good. On the downside, only 5 tiles left. So what I'm looking to do here is play off 2 or 3 of my vowels. 4 vowels left. I really can't infer whether any of them were on my opponent's rack. So, can I play through the K? I don't think rookie is good, spelt double E. I've got 8 minutes left on my clock. I certainly need to play off 1O and 1E. It would be nice to play off 2 E's and an O. But I don't think I can do that. I'm just looking in column 15 to see if I could play a word beginning with the R of fogger. That would use up exactly 4 tiles, leaving 1 in the bag. 7 minutes left. I'm struggling with this rack. Even using any combination of O's and E's, I can't see a play down from through the K, unless I burn my S with Oaks. 27 points. But I think the S is important. So where can I play just double O? Well, I could play it down here, but then if my opponent's got the W, he could just stick it on the end of Co for 30 points, and then he might win even if I bingo. Tricky position. And the same worry occurs over here. If I play OE and FE, then my opponent could place the W or the V in front of that and play down here for 30 points. So I don't really want to provide an opportunity for him to score with any of the remaining scoring tiles. I'm 70 points behind. If my opponent scores 20 or 30, which he probably will, I'm 90 points behind and a bingo won't be enough. I'm wondering about playing Eeks in column 15. 27 points, 307. Then if my opponent gets 20 points, a bingo would win. But how many bingos are available to me if I did play Eeks? So I'd be keeping CEOO. Well, there probably are some. I would rather not burn my S, mainly because of the vowel consonant balance in my rack. So what about playing OE here? This does nothing for my opponent. It does very little for me either. Can I really not score more than 9 points? I feel there is a better move here. But I'm running out of time, only 4 minutes left. So either OE or, well, possibly OO, but I don't really like that. And can I burn 4 tiles? Well, better than OE there is foe here. 12 points. Having said my opponent's opened column 2, I would need a tile to go next to the L. That would require an A or an I. If I add an A or an I to my rack, it's very vowel heavy. And Seneccio, which is one candidate bingo, doesn't fit because UO isn't good. So foe feels like a losing move. What about ooze? Five points, but a much better rack leave. 2 minutes on my clock. Can I do better than this? Coos, putting a C in front of that isn't good. Well, this is the only spot I've seen where I can play off OOE, and I think that is probably my best available rack leave. Dreadful stuff. Just vowels. After all that effort to have a shot at a bingo, it has been in vain. I think this game is lost now. I'm 65 points behind. And I have far too many vowels. It's possible the A is in the bag, and my opponent has got only consonants, but I think he can probably still score on this board through the vowels on the board, such as the second O in Passbook. So I picked up an E and 2 I's. Now, I'm just looking in column 15. I don't think there's any point in trying for a bingo here. I don't think there will be one. So can I play through the K? I don't think Ricky is good. I could play C down here. I'm mindful of the time because I'm short on time. 21 points. 30 points. Probably the best I can get. There is a consonant. My opponent can play core in column 15. I don't think I've got an out here. So 1 minute left. My opponent has got dreadful tiles, but I'm 80 points behind, so I'm not going to be able to catch him. I'm now looking to go out in 2. So I can play iron down here. And then I'm leaving myself higher in column 15 and lie in row F. There probably were better alternatives, but I am short on time. So higher, 7 points. Lie, 5. Six points for my opponent. Higher remains available. 7 points. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game, which he does. And the final score, 340 to me, 398 to my opponent, a winning margin for him of 58 points. So quite a low scoring game and a loss. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first. I played Rory, and I could have played Aurea using the same tiles for the same score. My opponent's rack, not very nice. He plays Zai, and now I have Azine, and I could have played the O off as well for 2 more points, and that would have been worth doing. Although the O helps the U, 1 vowel is better than 2. So I think Ad's only slightly better. My opponent's rack, he played Dow. And now this was a tricky rack. All of the scores are about the same, and none of the rack leaves is great. So Gout for 24 is in the mix. Now, great rack for my opponent. He has a bunch of bingos, and he played Cotiers. This was my rack. I could have played Dahl, keeping ART. That would have been better than what I did, which was Rath. I don't think I considered putting a D on the end of O, and I clearly should have done. ALD is my rack leave here, but Dahl scores 8 more points and has a better rack leave. Horrible rack for my opponent. He played Vower. Now I do have an A at this point for going in front of that, but I needed it to get rid of the Q. And although these scores are more than I got for Kibler, they're all retaining the Q. So I think Kibler is better. My opponent's rack, pretty awful. And at this point we're very close, only 8 points between us. And there was a bingo here, re-pumped. I didn't see that. M5 through the R of Cotiers. That would have been really good. A great time to get a bingo. As it was, I got 23 fewer points with mapped. So suboptimal, but not massively suboptimal. My opponent's rack, he played Fogger. I challenged it. It was good. And now I have a tricky rack. And I could have played Red Jewett in column 15. That would have been a nice play for 28. Instead, I played Dewey for 20, keeping a vowel-heavy rack leave. My opponent's rack, he played Passbook, which was a great spot. What else was available? Nothing. That's interesting. He could have actually played it through the first P of mapped for more points. My rack. What did I do here? Now I had the Y. Is this where I played Nutty for 32? Nutty for 36. Okay, yeah, I think that looks fine. My opponent's rack, he played AY, and now this was the grim end to the game. Still 20 tiles in the bag, and what follows is my forlorn hope at bingoing. So, GM1. Well, that's very easy for my opponent to score off. OK for 36, that's through the K, that looks pretty nice. But at this point, the D is a floater, so I don't want to obstruct that. I played Jet A for 23 at I3, keeping a good rack lead, but not opening the board up. My opponent's rack, he's got Ain Sal. Let's see if that plays anywhere. It doesn't. But he blocks the D, which is good tactically. My rack, OK, still available, and a good rack lead, so I think that would have been the play with this rack. What did I do? Ho for 22. It's tricky, because although OK scores well and has got a good rack leave, at this stage, given the score differential of 49 points, I need to open the board up, and HO does that. My opponent's rack, this is where he played Luna. So he did burn all of his vowels. And now I have a really vowel-heavy rack. And this is a play I spent a long time on before eventually playing Ooze. And you can see why it's problematic. All of the suggestions here have completely unbingo-y rack leaves. So I played Ooze for 5. My opponent has no vowels at all. He plays Moose, and then I just draw vowels. So I'm facing this horror show. And at this point, I'm just looking to end the game. There is no way I can win. Reiki's would have been a nice spot down here. Instead, I played C's for 3 fewer points and keeping 3 vowels instead of 2 vowels and a consonant. So Reiki's a better play. And it would have denied my opponent 30 points for core. Now, this is right at the end. I couldn't see a 1 move out. There wasn't such a play. And, well, I'm not sure double I could then have been played in 2 spots. So there really wasn't much on offer here. So iron looks fine. My opponent plays Van. And finally, higher was the highest scoring play. So, an interesting game. And it's easy to feel when you're playing the game that the tiles didn't run your way. But I think the most significant point in that game was repumped. There was an available bingo. And that would have... It was better than map. Not massively better, but it could easily have been enough to change the course of the game. And I think there were a couple of other suboptimal moves. Reduit would have been nice down here in column 15. But that shows the importance of analysing the game. There is always something you could have done better, and it's important to be aware of those factors so that you can strive to learn from them and play better in future. So I hope you enjoyed watching that video and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.